Museum. I'm Marquette, and we're so glad you're with us today to stay curious with Travis Todd Thompson, Triple T. How you doing,
I'm
buddy?
doing good. Ready to
Good,
hit it.
good,
Yeah.
good. Well, we've been together a little bit this
A little
afternoon.
bit.
Travis helped me at a bank branch opening. We thank Launch Credit Union
Launch.
here.
Yeah, I like
Though
that.
though all of you around the world and around the country, that's a bank here called Launch. Duh,
Yeah.
makes sense on the
Makes
Space
sense.
Coast. And we partnered with them, and I had a booth there for a little while, the grand opening, and you come over and
Yeah.
took it over for me. Met some kids, and
Yeah. Gave out some stickers and hopefully got some visitors coming here. So,
they put their hands on Neil Armstrong's right there.
yeah.
The only place in the world you can do that here in Titusville, Florida, at Space View Park or our American Space Museum, where for 21 years we've been preserving the birth of the American space age right here where it all began, this delivery room, Brevard County.
Hmm.
And what we got going here is the last Apollo command capsule right there, photographed by our partner Tom Usiak. Hi, Tom,
Tom.
Lancaster, Pennsylvania. What was Tom doing for us a year ago?
Taking our picture at the Udvar Hazy.
Yeah. And what's there that concerns you? Tell our
Oh,
stay curious
my
friends.
uniform is on display there that I wore in the White Room, and it is on display on a mannequin in front of Discovery. And I saw somebody put on Facebook the other day that somebody needs to draw a mustache on
Oh, okay.
me.
Well, that was a year ago. Marty Winkle, my
Yeah.
co-producer, and he's working our Streamlabs computer lab here. He got us some great accommodations that weekend. We
Oh,
had a
yeah,
good
we had a
time.
great time.
We even made fools of ourselves on one of the most pristine golf courses I've ever been on in my life.
Yeah, it was
You
nice.
thought you were in someone's living room all the time, as far as like a carpet. But
Man.
yeah, a year ago, time flies, and we've been doing this Tales from the White Room with Travis for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Tell them what your job was.
My job, I was pretty much the crew chief for the space shuttle. I was in charge of putting all the astronauts in on launch day. My normal job, I was a forward lead where I took care of the forward end of the ship, inside and out. So that put me in the position to be the astronaut closeout crew guy.
From the latrine to dusting off the visor over the
Yeah,
commander's seat, huh?
yeah. Started
They
out
didn't have
doing that.
visors up there, did they?
No, no,
No. Are you sure
yeah.
about that?
No wiser.
Oh, okay. Well, you put their license up there and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
their registration. Well, get back to 47 years ago today. It was an afternoon launch. Three astronauts are aboard this command module that Tom Usiak took as a young man. That is a Saturn 1B rocket and the last of the Apollo command modules. Would you believe there's two 91-year-old dudes that say I was on that?
Wow, isn't that
Tom
something?
Stafford and Vance Brand.
91. God bless him.
And Deke Slayton passed away, but Deke is on board there. He was waited 16 years from being one of the Mercury
Yeah.
original astronauts in 1959 to getting this trip to space in 1975 to shake hands with two Russians
Yeah.
who were launched earlier in the day. Slayton talks about in his book with Alan Shepard, Moonshot. Everybody's got this book on their
Good book.
libraries, or you're not a space geek.
Mhm.
A great read about the two guys that chose and wielded the power of who was going to be on what missions.
Wow.
And who did that on the shuttle?
George Abbey?
Yeah, George Abbey did that on the shuttle, and he didn't play any win any popularity conference.
I don't think so.
Contests, I understand, but we'll get some of the old Bob Seek on here and talk about that
There you go.
One day. But we'd like to talk about But anyway, astronaut selection was a big deal when Shepard got grounded because of Meniere's ear disease, and Slayton had a heart murmur, and they
Murmur.
weren't going to risk anything on the unknowns of the Mercury. They were grounded, and then Slayton put himself on the last mission. Of course, Shepard got the Meniere's disease, a Los Angeles surgeon to fix it,
Mm-hmm.
and he was the commander of Apollo 14. Good book, Moonshot.
Yeah. I remember the launch. I was there.
Anyway, Tom Usiak, thank you for sharing your pictures here in our such a momentous, one-of-a-kind event. This was one of the end of the Cold War moments where we shook hands with the Russians who we were in a moon race with since Sputnik 1 when they launched in 1957.
57.
But we want to remind everybody that we are taking orders. Marty, my control's not working here. And let's see if it'll go forward. Yeah, it did. Okay. We are selling as a fundraiser these beautiful T-shirts, the artwork of Paul Callie and his son Chris. This is a fundraiser for our new carpet that's going to be going down next week. We're going to be closed for 3 weeks while we get new carpet, fix up our conference room, and some other improvements here at the American Space Museum. We will reopen August 8th, but we will still be doing Stay Curious Monday through Friday, and we've got guests lined up next week, including Apollo managers and the Grumman. We got 3 Grummies coming here to talk about the lunar module.
Good.
On particularly tail number LM5, that was the Eagle that landed on the moon.
Wow. Okay.
We've got the lead engineer on that. We got Marty, who's the lead electrical engineer on LM5. So these T-shirts are for sale. We will start shipping them out probably right at the end of the month. We're trying to get some orders. We do have orders. Thank you, Dave Stange and Larry Pusker, for buying yours already. Get your camera out there and just hit that QR code, and it'll take you right to the site. There is a young Chris Callie and his dad Paul. All right, and we cannot underestimate the beautiful artwork of Chris Callie that he's turning out. His Artemis moon new impression. That you can go to his website and buy a copy of this for about $60.
I really like that.
And Chris is a great partner of our American Space Museum, and the Usiak brothers led us to him, as such are things in the world of relationships in a nonprofit. So, but look at this segue. Wow, that's kind of cool. That is actually Mark Usiak's photograph. Okay. In 2022 of Artemis out there that Chris Callie just completely stole without permission. So Mark's really mad about that. And here's his big brother's image of the Saturn 1B on what's called the milk stool.
The milk stool.
At pad 39B, that is now the Artemis pad. So I love that, Marty. Purple haze across my brain. Okay, lately I don't feel the same.
Yeah.
There's Tom's shot of the General, Tom Stafford, when he was launched on his 4th and last flight. Of course, he orbited the moon in the command module Charlie Brown and went within 10 miles of it.
Right.
With Gene Cernan on Snoopy. With John Young orbiting. And there's the walkout. With the crew there, 3 of them, like we said, Stafford, Vance Brand, and Deke Slayton. Of course, Deke never flew again. I think he was 51 years old. Vance Brand went on to command a space shuttle. 3 times, I believe.
I think.
And there is a beautiful shot. Tom Usiak, be proud of that as a young man. Shot on film. A lot of unknowns back in the day of getting that flame just right. And they didn't need, of course, it's just going to Earth orbit, so the Saturn V wasn't into play.
Okay.
They just used the first stage of the Saturn V. So, little nostalgia back 47 years ago when we buried the hatchet with the Russians, sort of, as our big partners. And how many Russians did you put on shuttles? 4 or 5, right?
4 or 5, yeah. I put the very first one in. I remember that.
And the last one.
Yeah.
Which would have been Valery Rumian, who passed away recently. Well, there's 11 shuttles that you put 68 crew people on Travis in the month of July. 68 shuttles. 15 of them were women, a pretty high ratio of men to women. And, of course, Eileen Collins commanded 2 of those missions. The STS 193 was the Chandra X-ray Observatory. And then, of course, July 26th, to return to Flight 114 after Columbia. So look at these missions there. Of course, 114 is probably going to stick out because you were so heavily involved
Yeah.
in the Columbia recovery.
Recovery.
So what was that like?
It was exciting to get back to flying again. That was a big deal. And I actually flew with them on the STA, the shuttle training aircraft, with Kelly and Eileen while they practiced touch and goes.
Now, to explain to people what that aircraft is.
It
looks like a regular plane.
It's a regular airplane. It's a Gulfstream, and they bring it in reverse to mimic the speed of the space shuttle. Come in 7 times steeper than a passenger plane.
Imagine that! Oh, you come into Orlando.
Yeah,
7 times
times
That's
steeper.
like a universal ride, isn't it?
I was standing there looking through the windscreen at nothing but Earth coming up, and I didn't like it.
But Eileen was behind the controls.
I was okay with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's the first female pilot, first female commander. She was a colonel in the Air Force. She flew the big C-5s. And she has the best record for landing the shuttle, better than any male.
Eileen Collins does, huh?
She has the best record.
And I'm told they don't like to brag about that because they didn't want them in competition.
They didn't want them in competition.
Why was she the best? And
she just had the straightest, right down the middle, the best landings. And, we got some F-15 fighter pilot, Top Gun.
So you think those Top Gun guys?
Well, here's a Sunday school teacher waxing your butt every time, so yeah.
Those Navy pilots like to screech the tires, huh?
They do. We could always tell a Navy pilot when we'd walk out on the runway on landing, and you'd look at the tire, and I think it was a game for them because they were used to landing on aircraft carriers.
Yeah, moving aircraft carriers.
Yeah, so I think it was a game to see who could stop the shortest, because they would rub the rubber off of the tire in one spot where they skid to a screeching halt, and you could see them smoking when they land, and that would be right after they let the drone the drag chute. That's when, if he was a Navy pilot, he'd just stand on his brakes. And I thought they had, because we'd walk by on the runway and just look at the tire and go, oh, Navy pilot. Keep walking.
Well, you talked to a Navy pilot like I did, Winston Scott, this week, and I apologize I didn't post a picture of him today. We've just been so busy with our outreach outside the building. We're blessed to get this show together.
Yeah, we had a busy day.
Busy day.
And you did real good.
But I'm Winston Scott, and you ask Winston, hey, Winston, how many aircraft carrier landings did you have? What's their usual comeback?
All of them or something like that. I had one tell me one time.
No, they'll say like 350.
Yeah.
Which one you want me to tell you
Which one do you want me to? Yeah, I had one commander one time say, I have 700 carrier landings, 450 are at night. Which one do you want to hear about?
That's what I'm talking about there, yeah. Because, wow. So anyway, our shuttles of the month, before we get one, what else do you want to say about 114 there?
Well, it was just a good thing to get back in the saddle again, really. And everybody, it was such a good vibe everybody had.
And Eileen being the commander, was that any difference because she was a female?
I never saw it. The only difference I had to do was put somebody on the bathroom during training to make sure that nobody walked in on them. That's the only difference I could really, the women were just as good as the men.
She seemed like the perfect choice. She's you and I've met her many times.
Many times.
She's a friend of the museum and doing outreach with Jonathan Ward, who wrote a fabulous book about Eileen Collins. Check that out. Breaking the glass barrier, something like that. I apologize for not having that in
front of us.
Right, in front of us. But we want to thank this guy, all right. Handlebar mustache Terry White there.
My buddy.
We kicked off Wednesday the Shuttle Garage with Terry. He's going to be with us every month at least to give a talk about some aspect of the orbiter processing facility, which is where you cut your teeth, right?
That's where I started,
in 1979.
Yeah, 79, May of 79.
Yeah, well,
May 1st.
And so go watch that program of Stay Curious from Wednesday. about 40 minutes, right where we want, with an interview with Terry. And Debbie Mackey was on there. Thank you, Debbie, for you'll be seeing and hearing more about her. She was the first woman lead. In an OPF.
Right. Okay.
The only one, she says. And we're excited about the Debbie. Yep.
First one, only pad leader, only female pad leader.
Only female pad leader coming out of the orbital processing facility.
Okay.
So Debbie Mackey, and we hope she's watching and staying curious today. I'm pretty sure out there that we've got who we got out there watching today. I'll bet Perry Hall's watching. Melissa Pope. It's Friday. She's working at the Space Coast Office of Tourism, watching that clock. With Stay Curious on. Thank you, Melissa.
I think
John
my daughter's
Tallman,
working.
Renee Ratcliffe. Read a couple names off of there. People that like our show but don't always comment.
Okay, Renee Ratcliffe, Talk of Titusville. What's that? I don't know.
That's a Facebook page.
Oh, okay.
Talk of Titusville.
Space Coast, Marsha Williams, Dick Swigert,
Yeah.
Brian Ewenson,
Ewenson.
Chalid Zan,
He's a good loyal watcher. Thank you.
Dallas Schwartz,
Yeah.
Steve Hammer, Perry Hall, Mark Kirkman, Danny Hunnyson,
Yep.
Denny Noah, Carol Kavanaugh, and Estan Muzillo.
And we thank you all for watching. We thank this guy again, Terry White. You're going to learn so much about orbiters and shuttles, and from a guy that condensed it all down to plain language, such that Terry gave a lot of talks to dignitaries, including I think President Obama and his wife when they were here on the scrub of the STS-135, I think.
Okay.
Back in the day. So thank you, Terry. Wanted to back up to our
He
shuttles
was the
of
man.
the month there. On this date in space history, Triple T.
Yes, sir.
The 15th of July, we had STS-94, STS-121. We had 6 shuttles orbiting Earth on this date. 94 was a microgravity. 121 was the return to flight after the return to flight a year later.
Right, a year later.
When 114 came back, it was grounded for 2 reasons. One, the gap fillers came out.
Right.
And the other was what?
Foam. We were still having foam falling issues.
So it took a year to get you back on the pad. And what was the morale like after that?
That was really a kick in the groin. It was. It was hard to do. We didn't like it. We wanted to be doing what we're supposed to be doing, but we took stuff like we redid a lot of our GSC, our ground support equipment, our platforms and stuff, and we repainted them, and we just did busy work that when we weren't working on our part of the shuttle.
Well, 114 was launched July 26, 2005, and then we didn't launch another shuttle. 114 went to 121 on July 4th, the only shuttle launched on July 4th.
Okay.
Big firework.
I remember that.
I'll bet there was a beer keg or two at somebody's party after that afternoon launch. It was like 2:30 in the afternoon.
I might even went to one.
Yeah, I'll bet. And that was an ISS assembly mission. So you had almost a full year gap there.
Yeah.
And, I've always wondered about that. But safety first.
Safety first. And morale picked back up the closer we got. You know, it was just, like I said, it was like a kick in the groin. We just didn't.
Well, it's 35 astronauts you put in shuttles that are orbiting the Earth on this date in space history.
How about that?
The other ones are on 65, which was a microgravity lab. 135 was in orbit this date in history, and we'll see some pictures of you being interviewed during 135 11 years ago.
Yeah.
The final flight of course, any shuttle, and that happened to be OV-104, which you always referred to them by the tail numbers.
104
was
Atlantis.
And STS-70 was up. That was the woodpecker one we're going to talk about here in a minute right now.
Okay.
And 127 was up. That was a Kibo that took up the Kibo exposed facility part of it, the front porch. So 35 astronauts orbiting Earth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 women.
9 women.
9 of the 15 women flown this month are in orbit at this date in history. So Sometimes they jam up like that, Triple T,
Sweet.
and other times they don't. We're interested. What days in history are there no shuttles flying at all?
Okay.
All right, just shuttles flying, not ISS or Soyuz. But we'll get to that as we stay curious and our program evolves.
Cool.
There's a beautiful shot of STS-70 launching off the pad July 13th, 1995. Discovery in orbit. Tom Usiak and his brother and Steve Nolte took that with and Bob Pearson took that with a Hasselblad camera.
Oh, really?
Probably a remote there.
That's what I was thinking. It's got to be a remote that close.
Now you got two clouds there. Which is which? Tell them which is what cloud.
Well,
kind
it's
of cloud
not
are you looking at?
because of the flame trench. It has a thing in the middle, so some of the flame goes that way and some goes this way. That's why you got two bursts of
But isn't
cloud.
one more steam?
Yeah, it's
from,
water from.
Then the steam from the
They put these big billows.
SMEs.
No, well, they put these big billows where directly under the solid rocket booster, and they fill it with water. So once the solid's light, it blows all that water down. That helps sound suppression, and that's where you get your steam.
Well, this mission was the All Ohio. We talked a little bit about that with on another
Terry.
Stay Curious, but there is a beautiful another UCX shot. And what I love about that is this launch of Discoveries from 39B, and on 39A is 69.
Okay.
We verified that with Tom and also with Terry White, that 69, which was launched September 7th, 95. So July to September, that's just 2 months. So you would have a bird out there, two birds at a time a lot of times.
Sometimes, yeah. And that looked really cool with two birds on the pad.
Look at the launch there. How
Yeah.
cool is that?
That's like, I'm kind of surprised they rolled the RSS back. I would have thought maybe.
Oh, well,
Or
that's
is
what
it?
I'm asking. Yeah, you don't normally see it. So, yeah, and tell them what the RSS is.
Rotating service structure. That's what would give more protection to the orbiter, I would think.
Yeah, right. It covers the whole orbiter, and that's where the payload is put in, the payload bay. When it's hoisted up, what they all call the PIGM.
PIGM.
Yeah. Wouldn't they be a little worried that some of that, Marty, would blow? Maybe the wind was blowing the other direction.
I think the RSS is around the orbiter.
It looks like that's what I'm trying to see.
Oh, okay. It doesn't encase it completely.
I would have thought that we would have put the
It's over the
RSS
orbiter, but
around.
not the SRBs.
Right.
It's not made for that.
Yeah, it
Well,
looks
isn't that
like
fun? To watch these pictures.
it is.
So there's the crew. All Hendricks was not from Ohio, but the other four were. We talked about that on Terry's Garage, and in fact Terry is from Ohio, and Debbie Mackey was from Ohio.
Really?
I'm from Ohio. We're all Buckeyes. We love this
You're
mission.
rolling.
It was also known as the Woodpecker mission.
Yeah.
Marty, advance please. There we go.
Woody Woodpecker.
Woody Woodpecker, and you're going to tell us why, real quickly.
Well, we are on a national wildlife refuge, and woodpeckers somehow were drawn to the orange ET tank, and they would peck holes in it.
Marty, advance for me. I think my
There he is.
Batteries are going dead on my.
I think that's
Okay.
one of the NASA photos.
Yeah.
From one of the cameras on the stack. So we had these bird watchers, we called them. They were hired. I don't think Mr. Honeycutt was very pleased paying them, but
KSC director Jay
yeah,
Honeycutt.
they just had to walk around with air horns. They put up big lights, like we talked about, big eyes, predator eyes. And they'd walk around every 15 minutes blowing their horn, keeping them off of the ET tank if they could.
Well, they got the mission up, and it was a good mission. And they deployed a TDRS satellite, which was the one that replaced the Challenger one we lost.
Okay.
And it was the seventh and last of the first generation tracking data and relay stations, so important to our national security. As well as that's how all of the communications from spy satellites and and other and the ISS
Secret
are
stuff.
relayed through. Yeah. Well, Triple T, we're going to go down a little bit of photo memory lane, as we
Okay.
often love to do with you.
All right.
When you were going to that Steak and Shake, and
Yeah, how about that?
Longhorn Steak wasn't around, but
Yeah.
I know the barbecue place was.
Oh, yeah, I had plenty of that.
Yeah.
So we are inside the mid deck, and you can see all of the mid deck lockers are off, and that is all of the avionics bays. That's bay 1 behind the gentleman, and then bay 2 over here, and then bay 3 you can't see back here.
Well, that gentleman get his name here,
Yeah.
is Craig Kovalt, space editor for Aviation Week and Space Technology. This was probably taken around 1995, huh?
I would think, because we're not wearing bunny suits, that I bet this is decommissioned.
Okay. Well, Carlton Bailey, thank you for sharing this picture. He is our photography friend. He trained and hand-fed by the USIAC brothers, okay? And he bites their hand once in a while.
They're a good group. That's
Yeah,
still.
we've gotten to love our group of launch photographers, and we'll be posting Carlton's photo of last night's launch. Again, I should have shared it, but on our show today, one of my
We had a
friends
busy
pictures,
day.
but
You did
we had a
good
busy
today.
day. We did good to get this going, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But that's Craig Kovalt, if you know him. Thank you, Carlton, for sharing the pictures there. Marty's handing me our faithful watchers today. Who we got there? We got some new names there, Triple T.
Yeah,
that are
Stephen
enjoying
Curtis,
Tales from the White Room.
Susan Kolb, I guess, Michael Leash, Sharon
Gell,
Gill,
Sharon Gell, thank you.
Scott Braun, Jimmy Tobin, Henry Minaboo.
All right. And we got Dave Bliss. Thank you for watching. Mark Usiak there, trying to sell the farm up there. He came down here as I tease him with pictures of Winston Scott and,
Yeah,
and other stuff going on every day down here.
I love Winston. I'm glad.
Ben
he-
Hurst, thank you, Tom. Christopher Mick, Carlton's watching, Larry Pusker, and Dave Stange. There's our
Cool.
all-stars there. And I wonder if Robert Law is out at the British Open. Excuse me, they just call it the Open.
The Open.
But in Scotland, maybe he made the trip down there. But we love all of our faithful there. Thank you for watching us on YouTube. That's where we monetize our Space Museum as a nonprofit since April. And we've almost made $100.
Wow.
And Karan said she might buy us, go to
Get us.
Taco Bell or something.
Yeah. Okay. I'm ready.
I'm just kidding. I'm talking about Karan Conklin, our executive director, and she is all far behind our Stay Curious. Actually, named the Stay Curious program.
Yeah.
When she and I had this brainstorm 612 episodes ago.
Awesome.
Triple T.
You guys have done awesome.
So, well, let's look at, see, I say this must be 95 because in 2011, you've been going to Sonny's quite a bit, I can tell, eating that good barbecue ribs and
I
stuff
was about
like that.
215 pounds.
So who are we looking at here?
Miles O'Brien, and he's interviewing Leroy Chow, astronaut,
All right, and you.
and myself.
And when was this?
This was STS-135. Miles has a show, and he was interviewing Leroy, and he just saw me and said, "Come here and sit down." So I did.
Well, that reminds me, they're called John Zarella. John Zarella, CNN reporter, wants to be on Stay Curious.
Good.
Marty, he says we may have to censor him because he's got some strong opinions about Artemis and in general. But and he should know John Zarella, a great host for the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation and other events. His son Michael has Zarella's Pizzeria
Yeah.
that we'll be working on as a sponsor one day, we hope.
I'm still waiting to go there. I haven't been there
Oh,
yet.
you haven't?
No, I'm ready.
Oh my gosh!
Next time you
we'll
guys
make that
go.
happen. Make sure Mark Usiak comes down here. And
Yeah.
he loves to pay up for other people's meals. You know,
Good.
so.
Well, hey, come
Yeah.
on, Mark.
But let's look at some more of you getting mic'd up. Apparently.
Yeah, getting mic'd up.
And
Those were fun.
now, once again, the White Room has 7 people numbered 1 through 7.
Right.
Tell us quickly 1 through 7.
1 through 7. Number 1 is the guy in charge, OVCC, which is me, Orbiter Vehicle Closeout Chief. Number 2 is always an astronaut, male or female.
Okay.
3 is a suit tech from JSC. 4 and 5 are my guys, my hatch guys, electrical or
Gophers
mechanical.
and whatnot.
Yeah. And then
hatch guys. They
hatch
actually
guys.
You watch them seal the hatch.
Yeah, and they're forward shop technicians, SCOs. They could flip switches, stuff like that. And then number 6 was always a NASA quality, and then number 7 was a suit tech from JSC, and they work for Sharon. Number 3 and 7 work for Sharon McDougal.
Sharon McDougal. Hi, we're glad that you're watching Stay Curious occasionally. And we need to get her back on.
Yeah, we should.
But anytime you come to Space Coast, Sharon, you're on Stay Curious. We'll record a show for you.
Yes,
here.
please.
There's your deep into the conversation there. Well, Leroy Chow spent 320 some days in space. He is an awesome astronaut. What can you say about him?
He was just a very cool guy, very happy, and he does outreach he does like motivational speaking and stuff like that. And he's just a cool powerhouse to be around.
Born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I looked him up a little bit there. He's age 61 today. He was on STS 92, 72, 65 in Expedition 10, was the commander of Expedition 10. Boy, he's a guy that's going to be around a while at age 61.
I would think.
Hopefully we can talk to Leroy Chow sometime.
He would
that
be
Chow,
good.
by the way, is spelled CHIAO. And what's going on in the background there? You're being interviewed, and Miles O'Brien, like I said, I don't know if he was a CNN. Seems to me like it was one of the cable. I bet he was Turner Broadcasting.
I can't remember exactly right now. But it was a lot of fun. It was, 1:35, and I can tell it hadn't launched yet because I've still got my radio with me.
Yeah.
So I must be visiting, and just in case I don't have to go back, I can stay and watch the launch from there.
So what a circus, huh?
Yeah, it was a circus. Anytime you go to the media, the big hill up there where the media was, it was,
So did you do the rounds and go to radio and
I did
other TV?
I did. I was on CNN. I was on PBS. I was on a couple other interviews.
Tell them how our Stay Curious friends can see you on YouTube.
Well, YouTube, you can just Google Travis Thompson NASA, and there's all kinds of videos on there.
There are.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them, really.
Yeah.
We watch, we have one when you do your docent tour, which unfortunately you won't be doing for 3 weeks, but that'll give you time to get
back in shape.
Get back in shape and in the groove and everything in there. But we're, and then when we want you to, we need you in here.
Yeah.
You've had a little bit of medical issues off and on here, and we need you back here because people are asking about doing tours with Triple T.
Cool.
And I
will be here tomorrow afternoon too.
Yeah, Saturday will be our last day open. So fly on down. If you would fly down here to our museum, I'll send you back with a bunch of swag. I guarantee it. But no, that's too much to ask. But we are renovating our museum with some new carpet. Is a big deal. And doing some fix-it-up stuff. And we're going to have a new look at the reception entrance to the museum. Inside our merchandise area, got a new counter coming in and stuff like that.
You better get you some new batteries.
Yeah, I need to buy some new batteries for this there. But that was the last picture I was going to show until we remind people here that you can order these T-shirts. What do you think of those T-shirts?
I like them. I think they're cool.
There is Chris Callie's Gemini 4 Spacewalk.
Yeah.
That is a painting, folks. That is not a photograph. His dad, Paul, who passed away 12 years ago, was one of the first 8 artists allowed on the KSC grounds by James Webb, who allowed 8 artists, painters, sketchers. Hurd was another one to on Gordon Cooper's Gemini, or not Gemini, his Mercury 9
9
in 1963, and but Paul Calley sketched the Apollo 11 astronauts 53 years ago, coming up Wednesday, in the White Room as they're being suited up.
Cool.
And that's one of the famous finished images. And then Paul Calley's got this power to go of the F1 engines igniting on a Saturn V on the other t-shirt. So you can own them. $25 for the color, $22 black and white. We have ladies sizes, ladies tees with different shoulders and V-neck on them. You're going to love them. It's a great quality. Ladies order one size up, I'm told, to make you fit good. So Triple T, there
Yes,
is
sir.
the last command module of our great Apollo program leaving Earth.
Yeah, isn't that something?
And who put those cats in their
Mr.
capsule?
God. Oh, no, I can't believe we did this. Oh, what?
Yeah.
I can't
Pad
believe
Fuhrer.
Pad Fuhrer, Gunther Vint.
Yeah, Gunter Vint. Yeah. It was,
Gunther Vint.
yeah.
He was their lucky charm
And your mentor.
and my mentor. Yeah, I ended up taking his job.
See about that? 43 years ago. We're talking about him there.
Yeah.
And he was a lucky charm. And that was the last 3-man mission ever, I believe.
Okay.
For us, okay. The Russians have 3-man missions, but we had 2 on after this would be of course 1981 to the first shuttle.
Well, shuttle was
'Cause,
81.
yeah, we didn't launch anything else after this
Okay.
from 75 to 81.
Wow, I didn't realize
Think
that.
about that. And so this is the last 3-man crew ever.
I'll be dang. Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
they've either been 2 or 4.
Right.
So thank you for sharing that memory, Tom Usiak. And
Very good.
Marty, what have we got? Any house cleaning here to do?
Nope.
All right. Well, thank you for a smooth show, Marty,
Yep.
and putting up with my last minute antics. Good time here with Travis Thompson, Triple T.
You did good pulling it
Uh,
off.
Well, it's because you're the space worker, not me, and you've got the great stories to tell out there, and we're glad that you all enjoyed them. So, on behalf of Marty, our American Space Museum, and Travis Thompson, I'm Mark Marquette saying we'll see you next week to bridge
The space between us. Come see me.